All right, so this is kind of embarrassing. This is like the 400th time I have tried to record this video for you. So I'm hoping that it works this time and we're able to finish this assignment. So this is the directions for how to correct the potential and kinetic energy claim evidence reasoning assignment. So the assignment looks like what you see here on the right-hand side. This is from the lesson called Computer Roller Coaster Models that we did back on March 8th to 10th. Mr. Weiss has your graded sheet, so if you haven't gotten them back yet from him, please get one. If you still haven't made it up, there might be some extra copies in the very back of the room, but I can't guarantee that. This was from almost a month ago too, so if you didn't make it up yet, you are not going to have a grade for it, which kind of sucks for you, but that's what life is. So what you're seeing here on the right hand side is actually the image that I had put into the OneNote for you, where I had asked you to use these sentence starters. So the directions say, for each point on the roller coaster, what is happening in terms of the potential energy and kinetic energy. Then I wanted you to make a claim by answering the question and provide evidence and reasoning based on what you've done in class. So I'm going to show you basically what I was looking for your answers. And a lot of people didn't write as much as they needed to. So if you can see the very first part here, it says that the claim with evidence from the picture, I thought when I was writing the answer key that the claim and the evidence really go together. But then you can see here that it needs to be done for each point, and there's 4 points total, and all of these points are different, so none of your answers should have been the same. And some people try to say like, oh, B and D are the same, or A and C are the same. So hopefully when you're looking at your paper today, you'll be able to see kind of where you made your mistakes. After the claim, you're supposed to do your reasoning, and the reasoning, I thought, didn't necessarily need 4 parts, but you would just be explaining what was happening to the card's energy at each point. And I wanted you to look in your notebook for that. So whatever you have written on the front side of your paper is totally fine. Please do not erase anything that you wrote. I want to be able to see whatever's on there. It's good for you too to see what you wrote, kind of compare it to what I was looking for, and then that should be able to help you with the claim evidence reasoning you're going to have to do as part of your final exam. All right, so let's get started. So the very first part, you're looking here at card A. Card A is at the very top of the hill. So using the sentence frame that I gave you, at point A, the potential energy, or PE, is greatest, and the KE, or kinetic energy, is the least. This is because the cart is at the highest point and it's not moving. So just kind of explaining that to you now, even though the reasoning is on the back. If you're looking at card A, it's at the highest point on the track, and potential energy has to do with height and mass, and then kinetic energy at the very top of the track, we're assuming that it's not quite moving yet. So kinetic energy is based on mass and velocity. If it's not moving yet, then its velocity would be 0. Next, we'll look at cart B. So cart B is here a little further down the track. So at point B, the potential energy is less than at point A, and the kinetic energy is more. This is because the cart is moving closer to the ground. So moving means that it has kinetic energy, where before it didn't have any kinetic energy because it wasn't moving, but it's getting closer to the ground, which is causing the decrease in its potential energy. At point C, that's this spot right here. So at point C, the potential energy is the least. That's because it's at its lowest point, and the kinetic energy is the greatest. This is because the card is at its lowest point and moving the fastest. Guess I'm explaining stuff that I already have written. Next, point D. Point D is here on the roller coaster. So at point D, the potential energy is greater than at point C, and the kinetic energy is less. The reason that I compared it to point C was just kind of going in order here, and without numbers, I can't really give a specific amount, but I could say greater than or less than. Then for my evidence, I wrote, this is because the cart is moving up the hill and going slower. Thinking again about the reasoning, The reasoning is the scientific fact that proves why your evidence supports your claim. And I really see the evidence for the kinetic and the potential energy kind of just being one short paragraph versus four separate explanations for each point. So this is what I thought would be a good reason. The reason why the Cart's energy is like this at each point is because potential energy is due to an object's size and position, and kinetic energy is affected by mass or size and velocity. Potential energy increases as an object moves higher up from the ground, and it decreases as an object moves closer to the ground. The mass of the cart or the size doesn't change during the ride, so it doesn't affect potential energy or kinetic energy. Kinetic energy increases as the velocity of the object increases, and it decreases as the velocity decreases. So, what that means, the closer the object is to the ground, the less potential energy it has. The higher or farther away from the ground it is, the more potential energy that it has. The faster that it's moving, the more kinetic energy it has. The slower that it's moving, the less kinetic energy that it has. Hopefully this makes sense to you. You feel a little more confident on maybe what you misunderstood or the areas that you were confused on, and you'll feel better prepared to do this for your final. Good luck.